Hello everyone, welcome back to another video from Shomu's Biology. And in this lecture, we are going to talk about DNA polymerase 1. DNA polymerase 1 enzyme, the structure and function of DNA polymerase 1 enzyme. Right? DNA polymerase 1 is equally important like DNA polymerase 3 enzyme in case of prokaryotes as well as from exam point of view for your side. The reason behind it is that DNA polymerase 1 has a unique feature. That is something that we are more interested to understand. What is that unique feature? It is regarding proofreading, but we will come to that. But before that, let me tell you, DNA polymerase 1 is an enzyme involved in the DNA replication, a part of the DNA replication process in prokaryotes, in prokaryotic replication. But in this case, the DNA polymerase 1 is not the leading enzyme for the DNA replication in prokaryotes. No, the leading enzyme for prokaryotic DNA replication in DNA polymerase 3. We are talking about DNA polymerase 1. DNA polymerase 1 is not the unique enzyme for the processes of DNA replication in prokaryotes, right? So the polymerase 1 here, it is not the most important enzyme but very important enzyme. The role is that they don't have any direct role in the DNA polymerization purpose. That means joining nucleotides to make the leading or lagging strand. No, DNA polymerase 1 does not involve in that process, but they involve in the process known as the gap filling and primer removal and gap filling. First is primer removal, second is the gap filling. Okay, both of these things are done by the DNA polymerase 1. The primer removal is only possible by DNA polymerase 1 because of its unique polymerization and because of its unique exonuclease functionality. If you look at here in the right hand side, you can see the structure of DNA polymerase 1. It is a very straightforward, simple structure enzyme looking something like this. Try to imagine thumb, fingers, palm, right? This is the structure. And you can see that what we have DNA interacting in the palm region because that is the active region where 3' hydroxyl will be present, and if required to cleave any erroneous nucleotides away, the exonuclease function of the domain is present near the palm region, which will catalyze the process of exonuclease activity. So like every single DNA polymerase that we know in prokaryotes, particularly DNA polymerase 3 and polymerase 1, they have these two functions. One obviously the polymerization function, and the second one is the exonuclease function. Polymerization function and exonuclease function. The polymerization functions for DNA polymerase 3 is 5' to 3' of the newly synthesizing DNA. That is the functionality. But the exonuclease function for the DNA polymerase 1 is unique because it has 5' to 3' exonuclease activity. This is unique. It also carries a 3', 5' exonuclease activity, but it is common. It is also there for other polymerases. 3', 5' exonuclease activity is the reverse direction of the polymerization, is the usual direction of exonuclease function in polymerase. And this 3', 5' exonuclease property, 3', 5' exonuclease activity is also common. This is common in both in Pol 3 and in Pol 1. So 3', 5' exonuclease activity is common in Pol 3 as well as it's common in Pol 1. But this 5', 3' exonuclease activity is exclusive. It is exclusively available in Pol 1, which is not available in Pol 3, Pol 2 or any other polymerases. It is only available exclusively in DNA polymerase 1. 5', 3' exonuclease activity is only available in DNA polymerase 1. 3', 5' exonuclease activity is common in DNA polymerase 3 as well as DNA polymerase 1. Got it? So this is the overall idea of DNA polymerase. It looks like this this is like this: thumb, finger, palm. Palm is the region of the catalytic function. Palm is the region where exonuclease processes will be done. And what else? It has this 5' 3' exonuclease activity that makes the DNA polymerase 1 a unique enzyme. Now, if we treat this DNA polymerase enzyme, the polymerase 1 enzyme, if we treat polymerase 1 enzyme with proteases, if we treat it with protease enzyme, then this protease enzyme is going to split the polymerase 1 into two parts, one large unit and one small unit. One large unit and one small unit. The large unit that they will form is also known as Klenow fragments. And the small unit that they have generated is separated. Now the large and small unit, what's the difference between the two? The small unit that gets separated carries the 5' 3' exonuclease activity. So that means this 5' 3' exonuclease activity, this unique activity is provided by a different subunit which gets separated the moment we treat this Pol 1 with protease and give a rise to a large subunit which carries two functions, one 5' 3' polymerization and 3' 5' exonuclease activity like other polymerase like DNA polymerase 3. So the Klenow fragment carries two features, this the polymerization 5' to 3' and exonuclease 3 to 5'. These two features together is present in the Klenow fragment. Write it down because sometimes they ask question from this Klenow fragment. What this Klenow fragment stand for, like what kind of structures that we see and what kind of features that we find in the Klenow fragment, and this is the feature that we find in the Klenow fragment. Okay. So now we know if the DNA polymerase 1 is not involved directly in the process of DNA replication. The reason behind it is that first of all the processivity for DNA polymerase 1 is low, right? So I'll write down the important features now. I'll erase some of this and I'll start taking a different color and write it. So first of all the processivity for the DNA polymerase 1 is low. Low means number of nucleotides that a DNA polymerase 1 can add before falling off from the template strand. That is low. Why? Why the processivity is low? Because it lacks beta clamp. There is no clamp proteins present in here. It lacks the beta clamp. That is why the processivity here is low. The second thing that we want to talk about is the speed. The speed of this polymerase 1 is also low. The number of nucleotides that DNA polymerase 1 can add per second is low compared to Pol 3. For Pol 3 it's huge, it's high. Okay. And the third one, fidelity. Fidelity for the polymerase 1 is also good. Means the polymerase 1 can also detect the presence or addition of a erroneous nucleotide. It can shift from polymerase activity to the exonuclease activity, cleaves out few nucleotides and re-ligate with fresh good copies of nucleotides, join them and complete the process. So fidelity is good, but speed and processivity is low. As a result, we do not choose DNA polymerase 1 over DNA polymerase 3. DNA polymerase 3 is chosen as the leading enzyme for DNA polymerization activity or DNA replication in prokaryotes. So what are the purposes for which DNA polymerase 1 is being used? DNA polymerase 1 is used in the DNA replication, at the end of the DNA replication, in the lagging strand. In the lagging strand where we have Okazaki fragments. And Okazaki fragments that we have in the lagging strand, and those Okazaki fragments can be joined, right? But why? Because Okazaki fragment means the leading strand has a continuous synthesis. Lagging strand does not have a continuous synthesis. Leading strand has a continuous addition of nucleotides, while lagging strands lack that. Lagging strands have small stretch of nucleotides and gaps in between. Those need to be joined later on, right? So, but we have this these gaps that are present. So we need to get rid of the Okazaki fragments. Why? Because in Okazaki fragments, DNA polymerase 3 cannot initiate the process of replication on its own. It requires a primer, a priming. RNA polymerase adds some nucleotides, RNTPs at the beginning, stretch of 20-25 nucleotides, and then DNA polymerase extend that. And in Okazaki fragment, we have such small segments of RNA components in the DNA. But presence of RNA component in the DNA is very, very crucial. It's dangerous. It is marked as an error to be fixed. So for that purpose, what we do here is that we need to get rid of those primers, and when we cleave those primers away, there will be gaps generated. The gaps need to be filled, right? Those processes are done by DNA polymerase 1. So both of the processes of this, the gap creation means the removal of primer, and the second step is the filling of gap. Removal of primer and filling of gap. Removal of primer and filling of gap is done. So we remove the primer and fill the gap. Both these processes are done by DNA polymerase 1. DNA polymerase 1. Both of these done by DNA polymerase 1. And after they do the process by DNA polymerase 1, then although they fill the gap, but there is a nick, means there is a breakage in the phosphodiester bond that is created, and the nick should be sealed. The nick is sealed by DNA ligase. Ligase seals the nick. Ligase seals the nick. Polymerase fills the gap, polymerase 1 fills the gap, and DNA ligase seals the nick. In that way the process is completed. So polymerase 1's role is in the lagging strand by removal of primer, filling of the gap. Sealing the nick is done by DNA ligase. And the DNA polymerase 1 is used in various kinds of DNA mutation repairs, DNA repair mechanisms, where DNA polymerase 1 can add few stretches of nucleotide. It has a good fidelity, so it can do exonuclease function, it can do 5' 3' exonuclease function that is unique to them, but it cannot add more and more nucleotides per second. It cannot add many nucleotides at a time before falling off, but it adds nucleotides slowly at a time, right? So that is the overall idea regarding DNA polymerase 1 structure and function. And remember one more thing, the catalysis of by the DNA polymerase 1 is something that we need to understand how exactly the catalysis is done, how exactly the 3', how exactly they add nucleotides in the 3' end, ribonucleotides, no, it's in deoxyribonucleotides because it's DNA polymerase in the 3' end, how they extend. DNA polymerase 1 also they have this capabilities of adding nucleotides, right, but they don't have a capabilities of adding nucleotides in a long stretch. That's why don't use them. You need to also understand, if you want to understand the exact role of DNA polymerase 1 mechanism of DNA polymerase 1's polymerization activity, exonuclease activity, so you have a part of the animation separated for that and you can watch that. But beyond this point, like till this point, many of you may satisfy to understand the role, structure and function of DNA polymerase 1. And if you like this video, please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, subscribe to this channel to get more videos like that in future. Thank you. Bye.